Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning from whichever part of the world you're connecting from. Welcome to meeting number 327 of Turning Point Toastmasters. I'm Utkarsh, your Sergeant at Arms for today. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. You are now inside the code of conduct of a Toastmasters meeting. Please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and that it may not be possible to pause the recording. The following are the meeting rules. I'll begin the rules for the audiences. Please be advised that any behavior that disturbs the flow of the meeting will result in removal from the meeting room without any warning. Please ensure that your noise-making devices are either switched off or on silent mode. Please speak responsibly on religion, sex, and politics in your speeches. As far as possible, please keep your videos on, audio off, and applause flowing throughout. Please be the kind of audience for others you would like to have for yourself. For the role players, Toastmaster of the day, table topic master, and general evaluator, please ensure a smart audio video check before handing over to the respective role players. The role players, please rename yourself as role player as the prefix, then your name and your club name as the suffix. Of course, you can omit the club name if you are a member of the Turning Point Toastmasters itself. Please acquaint yourself with the role of the timer. The timer will use the background change or the screen sharing to indicate time using one of the three cards. Green means that you have reached the minimum qualifying time. Yellow indicates that it is a good time to start concluding. And red specifies that you have 30 seconds more or you will be disqualified. Individual session timings will be explained in due time. Few other rules, folks. We encourage you to use the Zoom emoticons generously to encourage role players. We sincerely request you not to send chat messages to everyone or the speaker on stage. In fact, refrain from chatting altogether and focus on the speaker. Reiterating, please stay on mute until specifically requested to unmute. Finally, polls will be launched after each section and they will be closed after 30 seconds. With all the ground rules done and dusted, it's time for me to introduce a very affable individual, a distinguished Toastmaster himself, and above all, a scintillating public speaker. Can everyone join me in inviting Toastmaster Anand Katyani on the virtual stage with a humongous round of applause? Can we have him on spotlight, please? A quick audio video check. I think you're on mute, Anand.
Thank you so much, Utkarsh, for that kind introduction. I'm using a different audio device. So that being said, can we have a round of applause for Utkarsh for so meticulously, so articulately explaining all the rules and guidelines for the meeting. Yes, let's follow the virtual or physical applause. Requesting everyone to get settled. I just got settled and switch their videos on and have your choice of poison near you. I am having a paper boat, maybe whatever floats your boat. Let's have the videos on, people. So we have so many guests today. Might not be possible to invite everyone on stage today, that I understand, but a hearty welcome from the Turning Point Toastmasters family to everyone. We have a packed agenda today and a really, really thrilling session courtesy distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, straight from Canada as a member of Turning Point, but as a brethren for the larger family of Toastmasters as well on impromptu speeches. Now, we have not just that, but two scintillating speakers as well. So these two speakers will, of course, get feedbacks from the evaluators. But I request, since we have so many guests today, do take notes, do provide your personal feedback, maybe a line of commendation or a recommendation in your thought, privately to the speakers. That's a humble request because that's how we will help out these prepared speakers in the best manner possible. We also are right now in the month of renewals, September, right? I believe it was Green Day, the popular music band, which once coined this song, "Wake Me Up When September Ends." Well, it's the reverse thing that goes in Toastmasters. Wake me up when September begins, because by the September ends, it's already the renewal period gone. So anyone who is a member of Turning Point Toastmasters, though our members have already renewed, discount. Anyone who has not done it yet, we are live for renewals as well. Another exciting news courtesy our area director, Abhay Mishra. Our area level table topics contest will be in November. So October will be the month where we will organize, dates are yet to be planned, but October is the month where we will organize our club level table topics contest. So today's meeting is a precursor to that itself. So anyone who is looking forward to becoming the table topic champion, this is the month where we hone our skills, practice all the tips and tricks that we learned today. I invite you all to leverage that in this session today and in the upcoming meetings itself. I humbly welcome Deanna McInroy, our dear friend from Canada. I believe the name is written as Ms. Pragyan Joshi. I welcome Dinesh, Bhanu, our good friend from Nepal. We have met personally in the district contest. Nidhi Sharma, Dhaneshwar, Surbi Joshi, Madhav Khandelwal, Animesh Das from Hyderabad, Kaveri Neha Khosla from Spearhead. So is our timer Jaspreet from Spearhead. And of course, Komal Singh, who just joined. There is a guest who is named as guest Jim. The writing script of it is certainly not an Indian language, so I may not be able to read it out, but he is a trickster. Let me remind you all, friends. He's a trickster, our dear friend from Australia. Jim, a regular guest and visitor in many clubs globally. So welcome, Jim. I request everyone to switch the videos on, enjoy the session, because this is going to be a fun-filled session. Quick check with all the role players. I believe all the role players are here. So I still see, including myself, we have not renamed ourselves properly. So let's just ensure that. Let's ensure that our timer has the screen sharing access as well. Timer, Jaspreet, would you write out? Just show us a green card, a yellow card. We are all set.
Is it visible?
Yes, we can see the gray card.
Yeah, so this is a green card.
A gray card is
Yellow.
visible. Can you move it to green? Fantastic. We can see all that now. Thank you so much. You can unshare. And that is the end of my rant, because now I am going to bring you all the Toastmaster of the evening. Now, this individual, I had the good fortunes to meet this vivacious spirit back in Hyderabad 5-6 years ago. She was a budding Toastmaster and she was a student. And I have been teasing her about it for past 4 or 5 years now, that how long will you keep studying and being a student? Thankfully, she has started working. And that's the reason we see her not that often, but whenever she comes with a bang. Today is one of those days when Priyanka Mishra is coming with a fantastic theme, a very relevant theme for all of us, the power of regular health checkups. So Priyanka, without further ado, let's bring you on the stage and let's have a quick audio video check. Can you hear us all?
Yes, thank you very much, Toastmaster Anand. Am I well audible? All right, thank you very much. I'm so
Fantastic.
Thank you. So, regular health checkups. I'm not a doctor. I don't run an agency like Palm Easy or something. I'm just a regular citizen of India, like any of you. And as Anand said, I have been a student and just working in some insurance company, not health insurance, some other insurance. However, the theme which I have chosen is not just coming up because I have to take a TMOD session today. is something I have been going through since 5 or 6 years. Let me take you in the year to 2017. I was playing volleyball, and while giving service, I injured my wrist. Doctor said it's just a hairline fracture. I thought, okay, just a hairline fracture. I'll get recover in a month, and then again I'll go and start playing. However, it took 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. It took an year for me to completely recover from that fracture. Yeah, surprised. Yeah, I also was surprised. I thought maybe I'm not eating well. Okay, that could happen. Okay, let's leave volleyball. Let's concentrate on my studies and all. So I forgot about my volleyball, other things, and focus on getting placement, going for job, everything as we all get busy. Year 2021, I got the enthusiasm.
Did we lose Priyanka's audio? Yes, Priyanka.
Am I not audible? Okay. Did you
Yes,
lose
now
me?
you're audible. Back again. Thank you.
Okay, where did you lose me? Just help me out. Where in my story have you lost me?
Just a sentence
Anybody?
back. Just a sentence back.
Second back? Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll again. So you have heard my hairline fracture story. I guess all good. Okay, I'll take you to in the year 2021. Year 2021, I wanted to join martial arts. Join martial arts, and when the day I joined, they don't show mercy in martial arts. The first day, they'll make you run around along the field, do all sort of exercises, and oh my god, the trainer, he was horrible. Not in a bad way, in a good way, horrible, but he was worse than the guy in the gym, your coach. So no doubt I was enjoying the martial arts training. However, every evening I was getting huge pain in my knee. I was thinking maybe it is common. When you go for exercises, when you go for high strength exercises, you get pain. I'll take rest. I'll be okay. Day by day, the pain stayed consistent. I thought, okay, maybe I should wear a kneecap. I wore a kneecap like other sportsmen do. And I went for training. I didn't want to miss a single day. I was pretty consistent. But one day I had a huge pain. I was not able to walk. I went to see the doctor. We did an X-ray. Nothing was found. Everything was good. Then doctor wrote me few blood tests. I went for the blood test, and I got to know that my vitamin D level was really low. The doctor suggested me that no, you cannot have just medication and you cannot recover so fast because your vitamin D level is really, really low. You have to take injections. I took injections. And I got to know not only my vitamin D, my B12 level was also low. I had thyroid, high level of thyroid. That day, I had that kind of discovery about my body, what was going on inside my body. The target of telling you the whole story is we don't know what goes inside our body. We can't see it. Until unless it's not visible, we cannot see. You get a wound, you go to a doctor or do some antiseptic, or you can do it. You have got a fracture, you can make a plaster and do something. But what about the vitamins, the problems which are going inside our body? They're not visible now, but maybe they will show eventually. That is why I suggest all of you to go for health checkups, regular health checkups. I'll go more into detail about this. However, let's go with the meeting agenda. I would like to call our general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Madhav. Toastmaster Madhav, let me tell you something about him. Toastmaster Madhav is a person to whom when I see and I aspire to become a leader. He is the one who has a capability even to a person who is not even motivating. He's like very low. Is not motivating enough. He can motivate you and ask you to just take the role and do wonders. That is how this person is. And I would like to welcome Toastmaster Madhav on the virtual stage to take care of the general evaluation of the meeting today. Over to you, Toastmaster Madhav.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka. Hello, everyone. As your general evaluator today, my responsibility is to make sure that meeting follows the core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence, which are also enshrined in the core values of Toastmasters and are also included the club mission statement. In my role, I am helped by a multitude of role players, which include prepared speakers who are going to help me and the club in bringing the best from the prepared speakers. And then I am being helped by a team of 3 members who are going to make sure that our meeting today, our communication today remains concise, remains clear, and remains correct. To make sure that our communication today remains concise, we have the timer. The timer for today is Toastmaster Jaspreet. Toastmaster Jaspreet has already demonstrated how she is going to present the timing cards. Let me explain you when she is going to present those. For the prepared speech section, we are going to have 2 prepared speeches today. The time for prepared speakers typically is 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Jaspreet will present green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, and red card at 7 minutes. There is grace period of 30 seconds at each end. Then we have a special workshop today by Toastmaster Rupinder, which is going to be for 40 to 50 minutes. Toastmaster Jaspreet is going to show green card at 40 minutes, yellow card at 45 minutes, and red card at 50 minutes. And then we will be having the evaluators for prepared speakers who are going to speak and give their reports within a period of 2 to 3 minutes, having grace period of 30 seconds at each end. Toastmaster Jaspreet will share green card at 2 minutes, yellow card at 2.5 minutes, and red card at 3 minutes. That's about the timer role. Let's go to the second role player who is going to make sure that our communication today remain clear. And for that, we have Toastmaster Amit. Toastmaster Amit is going to note down all the filler words which tend to make our communication less interesting and which tend to make our which tend to interrupt our communication. Filler words like I mean, actually, basically, these are some of the examples. These are going to be noted down by Toastmaster Amit. Toastmaster Amit is also going to take care of unintentional pauses, any of unintentional pauses if we use in our communication, and any unintentional sounds as well, such as as, us. That's about the time. That's about the R counter role by Toastmaster Amit. Let's go to the person who is going to make sure that our communication today remains correct. For that, we have grammarian Toastmaster Utkarsh. Toastmaster Utkarsh is going to note down all the good usages and not so good usages of grammar, words, vocabs, pronunciation. And we will be having Toastmaster Utkarsh now on stage to let us know the word of the day as well. Toastmaster Utkarsh, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhav. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I will be your grammarian for the day. As mentioned by Toastmaster Madhav, I'll keep a tab on all the good usages and not so good usages when it comes to the grammar and pronunciations in your speeches. But for now, it's time for me to introduce the word of the day, which is vivify. V-I-F-Y. vivify, which means to give new life or energy or to make something more striking or animated. I'll explain its usage by giving examples from Toastmasters' perspective. Number one, when practicing impromptu speaking skills in Toastmasters, the ability to quickly gather your thoughts and deliver a concise response can vivify your performance and boost your confidence. Another example, the use of humor can vivify your speech and add a touch of entertainment to your Toastmasters presentation. Everyone is encouraged to use the word of the day in their speeches so that we could learn to apply the usage of the new words learned. I'll also write the word and its meaning in the chat box for everyone's perusal. And I will be back, guys, to present my report when called upon by the general evaluator towards the end of the meeting. But for now, over to you, Toastmaster Madhav.
Thank you, Toastmaster Utkarsh, for letting us know about the word of the day. And that's about it. I'll be coming back on stage as and when called by Toastmaster Priyanka. But till then, let's vivify the meeting by using good words and making our communication clear, concise, and correct. Over to you, Toastmaster Priyanka.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Madhav. Now, coming back to the theme, we need to do, or why should we so much focused about the health checkup? Why should we go for the blood test? Why should we waste our money? I'll say simply, to vivify our life. If we know what is the problem today, if you are able to catch before, when at the early stages, what is going on in our body, or is there any problem inside our body, or are we suffering with something? If you're able to catch early, if you prepare today, I think we will be able to face in the future. And that is how Toastmasters do here in this world. Here we prepare our speeches. We prepare, we go to the mentor, review them, and deliver it here. I would like to take you to the prepare speech section, and I would like to call the first speaker of the day, Toastmaster Ankit. Toastmaster Ankit. Toastmaster Ankit is the person I really look forward to when in terms of giving speeches. He do not take rest. Back to back, I hear speeches from him. I am so lazy, a big procrastinator in writing speeches, but Toastmaster Ankit, we should see his pathways, how he is going up in the ladder. I'm sure I think he is really looking forward for some award from Toastmaster International. That is the motivation. Or Toastmaster Madhav is your mentor. That is the motivation. I just really want to ask what is the thing. However, before that, I'd like to call the evaluator Toastmaster Ankit, Toastmaster Anshuman. Please, Toastmaster Anshuman, please share what Toastmaster Ankit has come today with his speech.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Priyanka. And Toastmaster Ankit the purpose of the project for Toastmaster Ankit is to learn about different communication styles and identify his primary style. And his purpose will also be to share the impact of his style on others. I look forward to Toastmaster Ankit's speech. Timer, please note that the time of the speech is going to be 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Ankit, and over to you, Toastmaster Priyanka.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Anshuman. Toastmaster Ankit, could we have an audio video check, please?
Toastmaster Priyanka, am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are. I think all good. So, Toastmaster Ankit, my communication style, Toastmaster Ankit.
Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, today I would like to make my speech more interactive and engaging so that all of us could learn together during this speech. Apart from sharing different communication styles, I would be giving different situations to all of you and would like to know from you what kind of communication styles were actually used during those situations. So let's start by knowing 4 different communication styles. The first one being analytical. Being analytical means that we are being detail oriented and focus more on facts and figures rather than opinions and emotions. And the second communication style is direct communication style. In this, it is being attributed by being to the point, precise, as well as result oriented. And the third communication style is supportive communication style. It is being characterized by active listening, being patient, and sometimes this communication style is being seen as indecisive as well in the nature. And the fourth communication style is the initiating communication style. And this is being attributed by being sociable, persuasive, and energetic. So this is all about the 4 communication styles. And now I would like to tell you about one of the situation that I had in the last month, and would like to know from you what kind of communication style or styles were actually used in this situation. So last month, I actually had to get an approval from the leadership about a vendor selection that would be used for the company. So this is how the communication went in the meeting. So I went into the meeting, greeted all the members in the meeting, and then I went directly into the agenda, what I will be covering during this meeting and what I'm expecting to achieve by end of this meeting. And after that, I shared with all the team members and leadership that these are the different suppliers which are being considered. And this is the cost to the company for each of the supplier. And this is the benefits to the company for each of the supplier. And then I went into the conclusion part or the recommendation part from my side. Like this is the recommended supplier to be selected based on certain information that I have listed there. And with this, the leadership followed up with some questions like, what is the payback period for a supplier being selected? And what is the financial stability of the supplier which is being considered or being recommended as the selected supplier? These things I answered since I already had these facts listed out in my appendix and I could share the information. And with this, all of us could come to a single final decision, and we were able to achieve the goal of this meeting well before the time or the end of the meeting. And this is how this meeting went. And now I would like to know from any one of you who would like to take a volunteer here, like what kind of communication styles were actually used during this situation? Anyone would like to take a guess?
I would like to guess, was it
Go ahead.
analytical?
Yes, Madhav, that's analytical. For it has analytical for sure. Anyone else who thinks there is another kind of communication style which was also being used here? Go ahead, Utkarsh.
Was it persuasive?
Yeah, thanks, Utkarsh, for taking an attempt. But let me just tell you about the communication styles used, and I think both of the volunteers were right in some way. So if we see, right, the main communication style which was being used is the analytical communication style, because we were talking about facts and figures rather than emotions or any kind of opinions. So this is how basically the primary communication style was analytical. The another communication style used here was direct communication style. If you could see, when as I explained the situation, I went into the meeting and I explained like what I'm going to cover and what I want to achieve during this meeting. So with this, I was being direct to the point, what I want to achieve. And I was also being result oriented, as I was always like, everyone had this feeling that we want to come to some conclusion by end of this meeting. So these are the 2 primary communication styles which was actually being used in this situation. And let's talk about another story that I have personally. So in my personal life, my parents have actually raised me from my childhood to help out others, as well as avoid conflicts whenever necessary, and as well as like they kind of raised me somehow like kar bhala to ho bhala, something like those things. So I always try to think from other people perspective, and if it's not harming me in any way, I would basically kind of usually agree with other people, and basically being supportive in most of the situations. And this specific way of raising me has inculcated some specific attributes in me, which actually gets reflected in my personality, in my day-to-day life. And I would like to know from any one of you, like what kind of communication style I might be using in my personal day-to-day life. Anyone else who would like to volunteer and take a guess? Okay, so let me just tell you. So communication style that I usually use in my personal life is supportive communication style, as I'm being cooperative, as well as being calm and patient and being helpful in most of the situations, right? And avoid conflict in most of the situations. So this is my primary communication style in my personal life. So in a nutshell, I use 3 communication styles. One is supportive, which is my primary communication style. The second one is analytical, and the third one is the direct communication style. And every person use different communication styles in different situations, and no communication style is better than the other communication style. With this, I would like to ask, what is your communication style? Over to you, Toastmasters of the day, Priyanka.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ankit, for a wonderful session on the communication style. Please give a round of applause to Toastmaster Ankit. If you ask my communication style, I'm still exploring. I'll let you know. I'll get back to you. Let's coming to our second speaker of the day, Toastmaster Srishti. Toastmaster Srishti, she is known for her hobbies. You should sometimes she'll be into pottery, she'll be into reading books, she'll be exploring the nature. But today she has come with something really interesting. We'll hear about that in her speech. And before that, I'd like to call Toastmaster Anand to evaluate as her evaluator. Toastmaster Anand, please share the objective of Srishti's speech.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. Thank you so much for spotlighting as well, host. Our speaker, Srishti, today is attempting a very unique project. And I want all the audience members to listen carefully, because this project is all about emphasizing on using or adding the language to increase the intent and impact. So all the interest and impact that can be enhanced using rhetorical devices, that we are going to see, and make my task easier by providing your own contribution and feedback in private chat to Srishti as well. Timing is 5 to 7 minutes timer, and all the very best to Srishti. Over.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Anand, for sharing the objectives. Toastmaster Srishti, are you ready? Okay. Could we have an audio video check?
Am I audible and visible?
You are visible. Yeah, you are visible and audible both. So, okay. Toastmaster Srishti, crockery, Toastmaster Srishti.
In 2017, my mother called me to her room and handed me a list of email IDs, random numbers, and a jumble of letters. I was confused. She explained, these are the details of her bank accounts. And then she taught me how to decipher what she had written and how I could identify which information belonged to which bank. She indicated to a folder informing me that it contained her will. And then She recited a list of her jewelry, as if reading from some invisible itemized list, and went over the division. Half for me, half for my brother's future wife, whoever she may be. This was one day before a major surgery that she had to undertake, and she wasn't sure she would make it through. When she left for the hospital, I sat in her room for an eternity, trying to absorb the conversation that had happened. And then, as if controlled by something outside of myself, I started wandering along my empty house, for the first time paying attention to its details, the color of the walls, the flourishes in the false ceiling, the way the curtains complemented the sofa in the living room, the assembly of curios and decorative artifacts that my parents had purchased from around the world and displayed on almost every flat surface. I walked from room to room, and I took in all the sights as it dawned on me that everything had been lovingly curated and tastefully decorated by a single person. The order of the house was set by my mom. We knew where to find whatever we needed because everything had a place and a logic, and something that I had wholly rebelled against as a teenager, but suddenly feared losing completely. As I walked around the wood and glass dining table, my finger dragging along its side, I saw its sibling, the matching crockery cabinet. This cabinet, which was home to the most precious of my mom's possessions. Now, first, let me tell you about one of my mom's enduring hobbies. She loves collecting beautiful, well-crafted, luxurious objects, especially those for serving food and hosting. It doesn't matter where she finds them. She just buys what she loves. Glazed ceramic spoon rests from Lajpat Nagar, imported china from high-end malls, or handmade tea sets from a street market in Vietnam. Standing in front of that cabinet on that day in 2017, I could see them all. And along with them, expensive dinner plates that would only be taken out for guests in white, blue, gray, yellow, every color. Except, I recalled, between her illness and the failing health of my grandfather, we hadn't really entertained any guests in the few years that preceded. I also noticed a ceramic kettle I had never seen outside the cabinet, and a glass jug I didn't even know we owned. A row of silver spoons enclosed in plastic, held up in a cutlery holder that we only took out for visitors we wanted to impress. All these items were the ones that my mom had loved so much that she wanted to save them for a special occasion. A moment when everyone was present, everyone was happy, and something great had happened. Both she and I believed that such a magical moment would inevitably arrive in the future and we would be ready and prepared for it. But in that moment, immobilized in front of the crockery cabinet, it dawned on me that that perfect moment may never arrive, ever. I panicked. But what about the crockery? What about the tea sets? We never used the tea sets. Why didn't we use the good dinner plates? We kept waiting for that perfect moment in an unspecified future, and now we were dangerously close to never having it at all. We postponed celebration of small joys for some big joy that we felt was coming later. I slumped in front of the altar of unused utensils for a full lifetime, tears silently dripping down my cheeks. Later, I rose with the determination to never postpone any joy, small or big, for later. To use the expensive things, to enjoy the nice things without waiting for external events to prompt it. Thankfully, a few days later, my mother recovered and returned home. We celebrated by replacing our scratched and faded melamine dishes with the porcelain previously reserved only for guests. And we eat in the good china to this date. Instead of supplementing a beautiful event, our beautiful plates make every meal better. Raise your hand if there's something you've been saving for a special occasion. A scented candle, a beautiful new dress, a branded watch, maybe a sleeveless top you're wearing, waiting to get slimmer arms before wearing, a ceramic dinner set, a pearl necklace. How about a nice notebook? I would say use them now. Today is a day that's worth celebrating. It is special. Today is a gift. Maybe that's why we call it the present. And yes, don't forget to eat in the nice cutlery. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Srishti. You have made all of us emotional. And you're right. We save that crockery behind the glasses only for the guests to look for. And whenever they come, we only serve to them. Yeah, you are totally right. But good, really great lesson today. I'd like to request everyone to share their feedback on the chat. Due to crunch of time, we would not go with the 1 minute of silence. However, let's back to the theme. But before that, I really see so many beautiful faces on the screen, and I really have the urge to take the selfie. Shall we have a selfie, please? And I request everyone to switch on the videos. Mostly the guests. We would love to see you, all of you. Yes, Rishi, come on, everyone. Subi, Nimesh. Hi, Nimesh. Hi, Diana. Okay, so I think we all are up. Mostly Madhav, Dinesh, Pragya. Pragya, your video was on. Why are you hiding now? Okay. All right. I think we have most of us. We can have selfie. Who's taking selfie? Madhav, please somebody help me to take selfie. Okay. Thank you. Ready? Let me know when it is done. I'm smiling. Is it done? Thank you very much. So coming to the theme, the question comes: which kind of test we should do? Are the blood tests enough? Are vitamin D, B12 deficiency, all those things are enough? No, there are other things also which we should be careful about. For example, our mental health. We don't know what is going on inside our head. We should check our stress level. If we really feel that there is something going on, we should see some therapist or whoever you feel like. Coming to your eyes, ENT, we should go for regular eye checkups, at least annually. There are so many other tests I would love to share with you based on respective genders, which we should know beforehand if there's some problem. For example, for women, breast cancers. Is there any gene which is indicative of breast cancer inside our body? Mostly female in the room, we should really know about it. For the male, for example, the prostate cancer. The problems like these, we should be aware of if there is some problem, because we do not know what is going on inside our body. We can't see with our lenses. Neither can the doctor. They can only know with the data. So narrow down the tests. And how often could we go with the tests? Annually, half yearly, when, how often? It totally depends on the person. It can be genetic. There could be hereditary issues. So we should know our lineage, how we are. Is something going on in our ancestors or our forefathers or grandfather or parents? In that case, you have to make the test that frequently. So with that note, I would like to go to the next session today, that is on impromptu session. Impromptu, why do we are so much worried, careful? Why should we really prepare for the impromptu skills? Like I said, we do not want impromptu problems in our life. That's why we should go for all the preventive measures, tests and all. Similarly, in our life, we get a chance to speak impromptu in so many different occasions. In our office, in the college, or wherever. If you're in politics, definitely you should learn that skill. And if you're a startup, you should know, because in up to 30 seconds of pitch can make a difference, can make your life. So this impromptu session is given by a person in the room who claims himself to be an introvert. Yes, an introvert who became the second world champion at Chicago in 2021. The person who's a great leader. The person who has become finalist in so many contests, be it a ISC, be it evaluation contest, he's there. Yes, that introvert worked hard. And whatever he is, those number of hours he had given, whatever he learned along all these years, he's here today to share his journey, how he developed his impromptu skills. To share the virtue of the impromptu points, I would like to call an excellent communicator and a leader and the passion to share this excellence with all of us. I would like to call Toastmaster Rupinder on the stage. Please, Toastmaster Rupinder, could we have an audio video check, please?
Am I audible? And I'm pretty sure I'm visible.
Yes, you're audible and visible. You're good to go.
Okay. Thank you for the superlatives, Madam Toastmaster. Let's get a few things straight. I did not come second in the World Championship, though if I do, you'll be the first people to know. I came second in a semi-final in the World Championship of Public Speaking, which is some way away from coming second in a final. I would settle for that, by the way. Second thing, she called me a leader. Not sure whether I'm a leader, but what I do know about leadership is that a leader is someone who knows the way, who goes the way, and who shows the way. I definitely know the way, and I'll begin by going the way today. And hopefully I'll show you the way. I don't believe in giving people challenges that I cannot take on myself. For example, I would never tell you to go swim. I would never tell you to go dance because I can't do that. Okay. But what I can do is somehow speak impromptu. a skill that I did not have until about 5 years ago or 6 years ago. So here's my challenge to you. Type in any topic you want me to speak on, and I will speak on it for 1 to 2 minutes. Your time starts now. I'll go with be smart with your heart. In my opinion, you have to be smart with your heart. I say so because the heart is a vital organ in your body. And if the heart stops beating, then you're done for. For example, you just have to go to the nearest hospital and you have to ask them how many heart-related cases they receive in a day. You can also ask them how much money they make out of it. You could probably ask a heart patient the value of a heart. And I can tell you from personal experience that I have a lot of those in my family. In fact, I am considered to be at the risk of heart. So at 50, going on 51 years of age, I will ask you, I will make a very simple request to you. Be smart with your heart. Now, I'm not going to ask you for feedback as to how I did. I could do well, I could not do well. That doesn't matter. I want you to focus on a pattern that I'm trying to follow. Now, a lot of topics have come up. We will stop at what you believe but cannot prove. I will go with the next topic. So please type away the next topic. Your time starts now. Let's have topics on the chat box, people. Let's go with what next. In my opinion, Komal, what next is a question that has driven humanity. I say so because other animals, they have a life cycle. They're born, they live their lives, they ultimately reproduce, and they die. But we humans were born with this innate feeling of what next. And that is what has driven us to this age. Let me explain that rather long reason that I just gave you. We were the species that invented the wheel. And once we invented the wheel, we found limitless possibilities. And we said, what next? And we invented carts. And from carts, we invented cars. And from cars, we invented planes. All of this made possible, not by the wheel, but us asking a simple question. What next? We are the species who was not supposed to live maybe 20, 30 years. But right now, the longevity has increased to such an extent that people can actually dream of being active at the age of 60, 70, when they should have been dead a long time ago. And what more? What is more? We may not be here anymore. Our legacy will live on. And that's another what next. So when you ask me the question, what next? My answer is, that is what made us human. That is what has made humanity survive. Now, I'm again going to ask you a very simple question. And Neha, thank you for asking me on private chat. Yes, I will just answer yes. Okay. In both the examples, what was my opening sentence? Does anybody remember? Those of you who've attended my session, please put your hands down. Yes. Can anyone tell me what was just type it in the chat box. I started with my opinion. That's absolutely right. Do you agree that everybody in this world has an opinion? Right now, you are forming an opinion about me, whether I should leave the room or whether I should continue listening to this person who's speaking incessantly. Everyone has an opinion. I have a 12-year-old nephew. He has an opinion. He's in the mild spectrum, autism. He has an opinion. A newborn child has an opinion. A person in the twilight of their life, they have an opinion. If you don't believe me, go to Facebook. Yes, people my age use that tool. You'll find 850 million opinions and counting. So everybody has an opinion. The idea is to channelize that opinion. And how did I do that? What was my next sentence that I began with? It was a very simple sentence. I don't know if you were paying attention or not, but my next sentence was, the reason for that is, I say so because. What did I give? I started with an opinion. What did I give? Followed it up with a reason. I followed it up with a reason. Okay. So it's okay to have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. But if you don't have a reason for your opinion, then your opinion counts for nothing. We've all seen that, you made that perfect presentation and your manager says, oh, I don't like that presentation, and probably uses some profanities to describe that presentation. And it's their opinion. And you feel like asking why. Your manager is not obliged to give you a reason, but if you substantiate your opinion with a reason, your opinion becomes just a little bit stronger. Third step, I said, let me explain. Explanation. Now, explanation can be in many forms. It can be in the form of an experience. It can be in the form of examples. I broadly used examples today. Okay. Oh, you have to stop giving me table topics. I'm not going to do any more table topics today. Okay. So, but the thing is, when you have an opinion and you substantiate with a reason, and when you give examples or experiences or explanations, when you say, let me explain, you are lending more credibility to your opinion. Lastly, what did I do? I simply closed with the opinion. I restated what I said at the beginning. I summarized using the opinion. So I started with an opinion where I said, in my opinion, blah, 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 blah. Then I gave a reason. I say so because, blah, 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 blah. Explanation, let me explain, blah, 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 blah. And finally, I closed with the reason. So I say, and I repeated the topic, and I restated my opinion. Opinion, reason, example, opinion. Now, you can unmute yourself, please. If you could unmute yourself, I'm going to ask you 4 questions. First letter of the word opinion. Oh, okay, great. First letter of the word reason.
R.
First letter of the word. First letter of the word explanation. Yes, Diana. Let's have a round of applause. E. And first letter of the word opinion.
O.
O-R-E-O. And that is the Oreo approach to dealing with a table topic. And you can employ it anywhere, any situation. I mean, there are other models also. There is who, when, where, why, what, 5 wives and 1 husband. There is, there is this versus that. But all of these have their groundings in the Oreo method. You give an opinion, you give a reason, give examples, explanations, experiences, and then you finally close with your opinion. So this was me knowing the way. Now let me show you the way. I'm going to ask one of you to unmute, give you a random topic, and ask you to follow the Oreo approach. Okay. And the person that I'm going to choose is going to be, let me try Ashima Trehan. We haven't talked in a while. Ashima, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah. Hi, Rupinder.
Hello. I'm going to give you a topic,
Okay.
and Jim has already copy pasted the structure. Can you see that on the chat?
Um, yes, I can see that.
Okay, just follow that structure. Okay. I'm going to give you a topic.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the topic for you is what have you learned today? What have you learned today, Ashima? Start with, in my opinion.
Okay. So, in my opinion, I have learned a lot from today's Toastmaster meeting.
I say so because
I say so because I have not been attending from so long, and today when I'm attending it, I feel like I have missed a lot. There is a new
examples of what you've missed and what you learned.
So the examples are like this Oreo approach is something new to me. I was using a different approach earlier, but I find this really in a short and crisp way of saying things. So yeah, that is something which I have learned, and I have written on my this sticky note, and I pasted in my on my table. So that is something which I have learned, and I was determined to apply it in my next discussions. And
Now just close it. Now just close it with your opinion.
so yeah, in my opinion, the I think everyone should attend the meeting, and it's very insightful, and you will definitely get something to learn. So yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
super. Now, Ashima, how comfortable would you have been if I had asked you right at the beginning of the session? I had given this topic to you versus how comfortable are you right now?
I think right now my this all the thoughts are in an order, and if you would have asked me earlier, I might speak something, but that must not be in a proper ways. Like okay, random thoughts that come and they're just like speaking. So
Right.
it gives me good direction. How should I speak? And more importantly, the order where you feel it. Yeah, it's something it's like I'm speaking something that sounds good. So yeah.
Okay, super. Now I'm going to go to Jasprit. Can you please? Oh, sorry, Jasprit. Yes, can you please unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Am I
selected you
audible?
because yeah, you're audible. I selected you because you are the timer, and you'll probably show me a red card at some point in time. I'm trying to avoid that. Okay.
Is that a revenge?
Oh yes. And
Okay.
that is your topic, Jasprit. Jasprit Kaur, revenge, Jasprit Kaur. Start with your opinion.
My opinion is obviously it's always been said that never take revenge, even in all kinds of scriptures. But in my opinion, I think there are times when you kind of have to, because in order to show your bad side, in order to show competition, otherwise you will be pushed around and will never be able to fight back when you actually
Okay,
need to.
pause for a bit. Now, what Jasprit has done is she's used the word because. The moment she says because, she is transitioned into the reason. Okay, you say because only when you're giving a reason. Jasprit, move into examples or explanations.
The examples would be, for example, if somebody is getting bullied in school by some older child or by some older, or even sometimes it happens in the same classroom, and you're doing nothing, you're just getting beaten up. For example, like there was a time when somebody was throwing some paper balls at me and I was studying in the corner. I was very much like a corner student who was always studying. And I run back at her and I throw that. And I just showed that what it needs to be done. And next time it never happened again. So you have to show that strength sometimes. You can't just let people just push you around.
Right. And close it with your
So
opinion.
this is the reason why I think revenge is sometimes important, but obviously not always. No, don't have that much resentment. Don't just hold that anger for a really long time, or don't hold the grudges for way too long, because obviously that's toxic. But in few cases, you have to respond faster, and sometimes revenge may seem like a right option, and it really protects you.
Yeah, the only feedback I'll give you is when you're closing, try to keep it short and sweet. You're just trying to bring it home. You're not trying to, drive into the driveway and then decide to take a round of the block. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to call upon someone who is a champ, and I'm going to ask them not to. They are completely at liberty whether they want to use the Oreo approach or not. So I will ask Jim to unmute himself.
I've just come out of hospital. I don't think I can do it.
How are you feeling?
I can't see very well.
Well, the thing is that you just have to speak. So
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Jim, the best revenge is massive success. The best revenge is massive success, Jim.
It's always been said that the best, sweetest revenge is massive success. You can see the insides of your targets churning at the sight of you being very successful. I recall an incident where someone wasn't able to get his bicycle tuned. I used to race in the 70s. And I had this English handmade bicycle, which I tune and I clean thoroughly. It was vivifying to see the expression on everybody's face as I finished that race, crossed the finish line. And as I crossed, people are riding like this, but I couldn't help resist but to look across and see the expression of their faces as I beat everybody to the line. Some people say revenge is not a good thing. Yes, it is. It feels great. And I still remember that day to this day. So in my opinion, revenge is sweet. Back to you, Rupinder.
Thank you. Now, if you look at his speech closely, there are traces of Oreo. He started with a story which was kind of his opinion. Then he gave his reason, and then he went into an example. And the best part about his example was that he went into a personal example. As long as you give personal examples, people are going to relate to you. So that is perhaps one thing that you want to take away from this, that you want to give personal examples, that this thing happened with me. And please use your own personal examples. Do not use somebody else's personal examples. Okay. Don't say I'm sitting here in Vancouver when you are not sitting in Vancouver. Even I'm not sitting in Vancouver. I'm sitting in Surrey, by the way. But, people who live in the suburbs like Noida, Faridabad, they'll never say that I live there. They'll just say we live in Delhi. So it's like that. Okay. Now I'm going to call upon another champ, Srishti Mehrotra. I've had my eye on you for a while. Please unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to give you a topic, and if you find it difficult, you can always ask for another one, but I want you to give it a serious try. Srishti Mehrotra. Okay, yeah, sorry. Srishti Mehrotra. One way or the other, tomorrow will be here. And today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. One way or the other, tomorrow will be here. And today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. Srishti Mehrotra.
It was 4 a.m. And I remember it clearly because at 9 a.m., I was supposed to have my jury. For those who are not designers, jury is the singular exam that you have in the entire semester, where you have to convince the panelists that you have really made good use of your time of your previous 6 months. I was working on my report. I had just finished my draft. I was ready to save and close my laptop and go back to my hostel room to catch about 2 hours of sleep, when I realized that my answer did not answer the question that was asked. It took my classmates one look at my crying face to know what the problem was. And each of them was only able to walk over, pat my back for 2 seconds, and then go back to their seats and continue working on their presentation while I had a full-blown breakdown. And I knew that I was going to fail. The jury was just in about 5 hours. I didn't have enough time to come up with something from scratch. Nonetheless, I shut my laptop. I went to bed for an hour. I woke up, I restarted working, and I realized that despite how terrible my work was, despite all of the anxiety that bubbled up within me, despite how badly my exam went, the day got over. However, I managed to pass it. And then the following day was the start of another semester. That brings me to the learning that I didn't think that I was going to get through to that day, but I did. So today, when I have a big presentation for my work, I remember that day and I tell myself that whatever happens today, tomorrow will be another day. And all of the days that I couldn't get past, yesterdays that I never thought I'd get through, the tomorrows that I wasn't prepared for, well, they've come and gone. And tomorrow will be a new day. Over to you, Toastmaster Rupinder.
Wasn't an easy topic, but you made the best of it, Srishti. I'm going to share the topic with you. I'm pretty sure I'm going to hear it in a speech one day. Okay, now I'm going to ask for volunteers. Anybody who wants to try. Diana, I'm going to give you a topic. Okay, my favorite fruit. My favorite fruit, Diana. Just type it in the chat box. Follow the Oreo approach. Good to see you. By the way, I'm also in Canada. Okay. Who else? Okay, Anant has raised his hand. Revenge is also a dish that is best served cold. Okay, Anant, let's do an audio video check.
Hi, am I audible?
You're audible. And you're clearly visible. I would say you're omnipresent, but let's go with visible.
It's on a different device, so please bear with it.
Yeah. Can somebody please spotlight Anant and confirm that he's spotlighted?
Hope I am audible and visible.
Yes, you are audible and you're visible. Okay. let's let's go with the topic. Anant, this is a quote that Navy SEALs often use. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've shared it with you before, but let's give it a shot. Okay. Anant, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Anant.
I'm pretty sure I have never heard it before. I'm hearing it for the first time, but I do agree with the topic. Yes, indeed, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Because there is an element of accuracy as well involved. I've always believed that haste makes waste unless it involves a taste. Let me give you an example. Why doing things slowly but consistently leads to faster results. I've faced that in my experience in my life during my studies, during my corporate experience, but not as pertinently as I have seen it in my training career in last half a decade. When I turned a trainer in 2017 onwards, I was looking for a niche to call a field where I can, to pick a field where I can call myself an expert in. And storytelling is what fascinated me the most in the soft skills training field. But merely calling myself storyteller and just delivering sessions after sessions didn't bring out the best in me. But then, thanks to some of my Toastmasters mentors, as well as a few stand-up comedians that I watched religiously, I learned it is about the writing part, which is slow, painstakingly slow, but this is what makes you a better orator, a better thinker, a better speaker. So I dedicated myself to a very poorly thought resolution that in the year 2019, I will write 365 stories, one story a day. Some of you have been victims of that WhatsApp forward that I used to send every day. Thankfully, it didn't reach 365 count, but it did reach around 150. And there were range of stories that I tried my hands on. Coming back to what was slow, but surely made me a fast writer and speaker, the feedback received individually on each and every item. Ruthless feedback delivered personally. And this is why I agree, whether it is Marines, whether it is designing, whether it is speaking, whether it is writing, whether it is coding, any field that you want to master, there is an unofficial rule of 10,000 hours, but forget about all that. Do not quantify it. The more you do, the less you feel you have done so far. So any field that you want to master, do give it a shot, but do follow the groundwork, the foundation steps. If you do it slowly but surely, you build a strong foundation, and that is where you launch yourself to a faster trajectory. This is what I believe. Over to you, Rupinder.
Super. Anyone else who wants to give it a try? Oh, I see that Animesh has his hand up. Animesh, could you please unmute yourself, and may I request that he be spotlighted? Super.
Hello.
Thank you. Hello. How are you feeling today?
Pretty good.
Are you a Toastmaster?
Ex Toastmaster.
Oh, yeah. Always with the X's. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to give you a topic. If you find it difficult, just let me know. I'll give you a simpler one. Okay. But I would suggest that you try this. Try the Oreo method on this.
Got it.
Animesh Das,
Mhm.
just because you made a mistake does not make you a mistake. Just because you made a mistake does not make you a mistake. Animesh Das.
Toastmaster Rupinder, thank you for this lovely topic. This
1 second.
is,
Anant, can you do an evaluation for him, please? Yeah.
Sure.
Go ahead.
in my opinion, this is basically my life story. This is basically what I live by. One mistake doesn't make me a mistake. One mistake doesn't make you a mistake. Why? We are flawed as people. Nobody is perfect. So there's no reason for you to be so held up, so hung up about considering yourself a mistake, about being this flawed. There are days when I have had the privilege of working with amazing people, people who have achieved a lot, and I do not have as many achievements as them. In fact, I have made far too many mistakes in the 5 years that in the 5 years past, and nothing, not even a second goes by that I think about those mistakes. But nothing in those mistakes makes me feel like I am a mistake, but because there's no way that any of this happened without reason. Some of this happened because I had to learn. I had a lot to learn. So mistakes aren't really mistakes. They are just stepping stones. They are just lessons. We are lifelong learners, sir. We are lifelong learners. Even as engineers, we are lifelong learners. So in my opinion, yes, a single mistake doesn't define you. Thank you.
Most welcome. Now, in the interest of time, and I know a lot of hands are going up, I will now go to the question and answer session. But before I do that, if you want more topics like these, you should seriously consider joining Turning Point Toastmasters. There are better geniuses than me who will ask you more challenging questions and who will tell you better ways of dealing with a table topic. I hope you enjoyed this session. I'm open to any question that anybody has, and I will try my best to answer it using Oreo. Vipul, you have your hand up. Yes.
I got the approach, Oreo approach, but what if something, the topic is like where I don't have an opinion or I don't know about the topic? Like I pose a question like egg or chicken. So I tried to answer for that question, but I was confused. I don't have any opinion on that.
You don't have an opinion on egg or chicken? Are you a vegetarian?
Yeah.
There is your opinion. I'm a vegetarian. I don't have any opinion on egg or chicken. I really don't care if the egg came first or the chicken came first. And the reason I'm saying so is because I won't eat it. And then you go into the examples of why won't you eat egg or chicken. But think of it like this, that this is something that you had some idea about. Okay. I was once, Jim, can you tell me that word once again? That the one word that I'm not able to pronounce.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yes, I got that as a topic. And I have, till today, I don't know what that means. And apparently it's some word said somewhere in a movie. So I started off with, in my opinion, I have no idea of what that means. Having said that, I say so because the word is very long. And I'm pretty sure that it can be replaced by a smaller word. But let me explain what I got out of that. I understood super, which means I could talk about a superhero. And I believe that there is a superhero inside every one of us. And I went into that narrative. Okay. But let's say that you come up with a topic that you absolutely have no idea about. You can use the Oreo approach to convey that you don't know the idea. You don't know the topic. For example, you could start with, in my opinion, if you're asking me, I'm not the expert on this topic. In fact, I've never heard of it before. And I don't say it as an achievement, but I say it as a learner. That's your reason. And then you give examples of the places where you were a learner. You demonstrate that you are a quick learner. And then you close with your opinion, saying that I may not know about it today, but tomorrow is a different day. That makes sense? And it happens. I have coached people for interviews. I've used the Oreo method. And in interviews, you often end up with questions that you don't have answers to. Try the Oreo approach. It really works. Anybody else? Any other question? Madhav has a question.
I would want to know if you could throw some light on how to best practice for table topics, the traditional way of speaking in, as in considering the contest is coming up. Yeah.
I would simply ask you to do one thing. Pick up a topic, start writing an Oreo around it. Two things will happen. Actually, more things will happen. One, your writing skills will improve. Two, you will learn to structure your speech, because it's been proven that what you write, you are able to relate to it better. Okay. Three, you will start thinking in terms of Oreo. Okay. So one Oreo topic every day. And you could probably have a group and you could ask, everybody throws a topic and everybody comes up with an Oreo. And if you do it for a good amount of time, you will start realizing that you are thinking on an impromptu basis. Not only that, you're actually responding to impromptu situations much better. So practice one Oreo topic every day. Now, it's easy to say yes to it, to nod your heads that yes, we will. It's very difficult to put it in practice. I can do Oreo in my sleep, but like Anant said, I did my 10,000 hours there. And like Bruce Lee said, that I do not fear the man who knows 10,000 kicks. I fear the man who's practiced one kick 10,000 times. That makes sense, Madhav. Does it answer your question?
It does. It does. Thank you.
Somebody else had a question. Yes, Diana, we will read your topic. Anybody else? No questions? Going once?
One small question, and that is regarding the finishing in contests at higher level. Often the last line or how you conclude really makes or breaks the podium finishes. So any suggestion on that?
I am a big fan of closing the loop. I'm a big fan of starting with a statement and then closing with that statement. If you look at it, a lot of my speeches are structured like that. And that brings in the reinforcement. So there is a principle in learning and development. We call it ARCs. It stands for attention, relevance, confidence, and satisfaction. Your opening statement is your attention. You get the attention of the audience. Then you establish the relevance. That is where you give the reason. Then you demonstrate confidence through examples. Satisfaction is in your closing. How does the audience feel once they leave you? Now, I personally felt that in 2018, when I was in Chicago, and the three ladies who won, who came first, second, and third, the person who came second, her speech title was Turn Around. All right. And she was doing quite well. But in the end, Sherry Sue jumped and turned around. But she did not say the words turn around. And that kind of left a feeling of emptiness. Now, imagine that if I'm a visually impaired person, I will not know what has happened on stage. Because you performed an action, you did not follow it up with words. I think that is what potentially cost her the first place. But finishing is important, and I'm a big fan of closing the loop. Start with a statement, end with that statement. It serves as a reinforcement. I'm a big fan of that. A lot of table topics contest champions will tell you that as well. Thank you for asking that question, Anand. Anybody else? Any other question? I think we have time for one last question. Anybody
Just
else?
one question, Rupinder. Yeah, Priyanka, Priyanka. Yeah.
Oh, hi. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Good to see you.
You started with an opinion, you gave a reasoning, but we are stuck at the examples. You're not getting any examples in your mind at that moment. What to do? Because, yeah.
Initially, you will not get examples. Okay. But think of it this way. You may not know it, but the first thing that comes to your mind is an example. You may not know about it. For example, I say fruit. What is the thing that came to your mind?
Apple.
Example. Okay. I say Guatemala. What is the first thing that came to your mind?
It's a place. Yeah.
And you have examples of places. So even though you've never been to Guatemala, or you might have been, I don't know, but you've never been to Guatemala. If you've never been to Guatemala, you can still talk about some other place that you know. That makes sense? For example, if I say JavaScript, what comes to your mind?
Coding.
Example. Even if you've never written a piece of code before, you can always talk about how you wonder how people write code. Okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And before I close, I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to read out Diana's table topic. Thanks, Toastmasters madam. I came to the Toastmasters in 2000. I follow this club meeting. I know she works as our counter and as a timer, and she does wonderfully there, by the way. My life is vivified one day as leadership. She wants to become a leader. I follow that goal in public as leader. And I know following that rule will it'll help you overcome your disability, Diana. I don't think it's a disability. It makes you adorable. And I know how to smile in front of the camera. Please always keep on smiling, because your smile lights up a lot of lights up the room. Thank you so very much. Now, before I close, I have one last question to ask each one of you. In the topics that I gave, how many of you wanted a particular topic for yourself? Show of hands. Okay, Madhav, which topic did you want?
Slow is smooth.
Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Okay.
Yeah.
Srishti, which topic did you want?
One failure.
Okay. Anyone else? Can you tell me what topic you wanted for yourself? Anyone?
I wanted Jim's topic.
Oh, you wanted Jim's topic. Beautiful. Anyone else? Is
I
the Vice
heard-
President of Education here in this room?
Yes.
Okay, super.
He's Utkarsh. But by the way, I
Utkarsh.
wanted Jim's topic, and I wanted to say opposite the topic.
So, Utkarsh, very soon you'll be doing the international speech contest. Okay. My question to every one of you is that today I asked you to speak for 1 to 2 minutes, and you wanted that topic. You wish that that topic had come to you. What stops you from writing a 5 to 7 minute speech on that topic? Utkarsh, if they say, I don't have a speech topic, ask them what was the last table topic that they wanted to give, and ask them to write 5 to 7 minute speech on that. Okay. There was a time when this club had around 35 members, Anant, who participated in a contest. Yeah, I want to bring those days back. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for putting up with me. It was wonderful seeing you guys again. And the unfortunate part is that my day starts at 6 in the morning. So I'm right now juggling work and I'm juggling a table topic session. But let me tell you one thing, Turning Point Toastmasters is the one place that I found my roots in. It's the club that I've gone to the semifinals with. It's the club that I came second in an evaluation speech contest, third in an evaluation speech contest with. In summary, you guys are the ones worth waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning for. Okay. Those of you who are on the sidelines about whether or not to join this club or to join Toastmasters, join yesterday. Because that's a mistake I made. I did not. Okay. So don't get into that sort of a mistake. Join Turning Point Toastmasters yesterday, not today. Because you'll put it to tomorrow and that tomorrow is never going to come. And like I said to Srishti, today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. So join yesterday. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Rupinder, for being so generous and sharing your time with us so early in the morning. And I'm sure all of us have learned a lot today. So I would like to request everyone to cast a vote for the best speaker of the day. I hope you all are sharing your feedback on the chat. And with that, I'll bring you back to my theme, the regular health checkup. So let me take you to the day when I saw the doctor. I got to know that I have deficiency in vitamin B, vitamin D, and B12 when I have thyroid. I took the medication. 4 weeks. I took the injections. I took the medication. Then done. For next 2 years, I did not do a single thing. Did I get recovered? Was I like completely perfect? No. I still had the deficiency. When I got tested again, my levels were the same. The levels don't get recovered on just one day. You have to reevaluate each and every time. Go and see the doctor, go for regular checkups, get the medication, and listen to your doctor. Similarly, we have our own doctors in the room for the speeches. We call them evaluators. And with the team of those doctors of speeches, I have Toastmaster Madhav in the room. Toastmaster Madhav, the general evaluator, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka. I got really worried if you are directly introducing the prepared speakers, evaluators of prepared speakers, but thank God you are not. And with that, let me go to the prepared speakers for their evaluation of prepared speeches. I would like to go with evaluator 2 first. And yeah, over to you, Toastmaster Anand.
Thank you. We witnessed something that is not usually attempted in many of our meetings. And that was a particular project going all the way back to the rhetorical devices or the descriptive language. And today, this was a nostalgic journey for me because it has been ages since I have read a book, other than, of course, a magazine, a journal, or probably a detective novel. But there was a time when I used to adore Arundhati Roy, or I used to adore J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings series, Hobbit, etc. Because they used to describe the pickle making for 3 whole days, 3 whole pages, or how a tree would sound like for maybe around 10 pages. And that is something which makes me always biased towards books than movies. Srishti, thank you so much for bringing that nostalgia back. I particularly loved the way you used a few certain words instead of commonly used alternates. For example, wandering instead of walking, slumped instead of sitting. And all those flourishes on your false feelings, well, you vivified your entire speech. Thank you so much for that. Then how do you make this speech even better? Well, number one suggestion for that is add more vocal variety to it. Why do I say that? While I understood the pain, the anguish, the surprise, the range of emotions in your words, maybe it was underused while delivering in your voice. Example being, you came across a ceramic pot and instantly your reaction was, I didn't know we had that. The surprise could have been a little more exaggerated. I didn't know we had that. Because that's how we usually go through different range of surprises. And at one point, let's say you said, I panicked. You said as if it didn't matter a lot. To your listener, it mattered. And your listener would have expected you to put more, effort into it and probably let it out visibly as well. So what we see, what we hear, it should complement what a speech is, like I was reading a book. However, I go back to complimenting you on this beautiful range of vocabulary that you displayed. The great takeaway, a motivational conclusion to your entire story, it was heartfelt. And as the flourishing that you delivered at the end, it took me back to Douglas Adams, the famous writer of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And I just read 2 days ago one of his articles, a page on how to live in Australia for a non-Australian. And Jim would appreciate that. And throughout that entire monologue, he mentioned back and back and back again, carry a stick, because Australians know how to carry a stick, how that is vital. So you ended with a callback to the crockeries that you described throughout your speech. Thank you so much for beautifully closing that loop. That's all. And over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anant. I would like to check with Toastmaster Anshuman if he is there and if he can present his report. Okay, he might not be there. He pinged me that he might not be busy because he's in office. But let's go to our tech team. I would like to start with our timer, though her role is still left while Toastmaster Anshuman gets back. But let's have her on stage and let her give the timer report.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
So for the prepared speeches, Ankit took 7 minutes, 35 minutes. Shrishti took 7 minutes, 33 minutes. Both are disqualified. Anyway, Rupinder Singh took 46, 23 minutes. Anshuman, because not available. Anand took 3 minutes, 36 seconds.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jaspreet. That was helpful. Let's go to our counter, Toastmaster Amit.
Good evening to all of you. Our Toastmaster of Day, Priyanka Mishra, used 11 times fillers, and our general evaluator Mahadab yet used 6 times of filler, and Jaspreet Kaur used 4 times of filler. Ankit Agarwal, while giving his speech, he used 1 time filler. Sristri Malhotra, during her speech, she used 2 times of fillers. During TTM, she used 6 times of fillers. Then Anant Kantiani, our second evaluator, he used 8 times of filler during TTM and 3 times during giving his evaluation. And Asima used 6 times of filler during her TTM. Rupinder sir used 3 times filler during his speech. And so it was really vivifying speeches today that I got really less fillers today. So it was great.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit. Let's go to our grammarian, Toastmaster Utkarsh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhav. It was such a pleasure listening to everyone today. I've made a note of all the good vocabularies and the grammar usages used by the speakers and everyone. Firstly, some words or phrases to highlight without mentioning anyone's names. Decipher, which means to decode something. Wandering, which means walking without any clear direction. Rebel, which means to fight against authority. Enduring, which is lasting or something which is durable. Flailing, which means to move in an uncontrollable way. Inevitably, which means which cannot be avoided. Then it dawned on me, someone used that phrase, which means to begin to be understanding something, to begin to understand something, sorry. Then someone used innate, which means something that you're born with. Then, of course, some of the words that are already highlighted by Toastmaster Anand, such as wandering and slum. One grammar usage issue that I felt that someone said from other people's perspective, you can simply say from other person's perspective, not that would be better. Some pronunciation issues though. It's not recognized, it's recognized. It's not communication, it's communication. It's definitely not conclusion, it's conclusion. And it's not quotients, it's questions, questions. One more thing that I must highlight is that we tend to believe that becoming a prolific speaker somehow does not mean that you have to use fancy words. We tend to believe that without fancy words, we can't be a prolific speaker. But what really matters as a speaker is that you are clear, coherent, and relatable. And you can catch people's attention by doing this much only. And the testimony of it was very much shown by our distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder. So something as a takeaway, folks. The word of the day was used by somehow 4 people or 5 people, I'm not sure. Madhav, Priyanka, Shrishti, Anand, and Rupinder. I'm sorry if I missed out anyone. I truly appreciate for enriching our vocabularies and English in general. In all, very well done, guys. We had a fruitful session today. Congratulations. Over to you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Madhav.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you, Toastmaster Utkarsh. With that, I would also like to launch polls for best auxiliary role player. I would also like to check with Anshuman if he is back. Otherwise, I would ask him to give evaluation report to Toastmaster Ankit privately, and he can share the report in PDF format in the group as well, in the meeting group as well, so that everyone knows and can share feedback as well. I think he might not be there. Toastmaster Anshuman is in office, so that's understandable. But let's go quickly, and because of the time crunch and we have crossed time limits, I am going a bit in a bit hasty way. But starting with the Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Utkarsh meticulously stated all the rules. Toastmaster Anand gave news, started with announcements, and also gave a good introduction to the Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster of the Day had a wonderful, helpful, relevant theme. I think it's very important for all of us to go through health checkups, and the message itself was very relevant and important. One thing that Toastmaster Priyanka should work, and I'll be helping her with that, being her mentor, is to work on introductions. At few times those were factually incorrect. At one time it was factually incorrect, so we can probably try making sure that it is not the case. That can be worked upon. Otherwise, very well done. She also made sure that we go very. She also made sure that she kept her script very crisp when she knew that there is a time crunch. So kudos to for doing that, Toastmaster Priyanka. Toastmaster Rupinder, there's nothing to be said about that. It was a terrific session. It was very helpful, not only for the members, but we can see retention of audience throughout his session, and it was very helpful. Thank you to Toastmaster Rupinder and I got to know that he had to catch a Uber while usually he goes through public transport, just to make sure that he reaches on time. So many learnings for all of us to be disciplined as Toastmaster Rupinder is for his commitments. Coming down to evaluators, Toastmaster Anand, no feedback as such, just he can try to make sure he remains within time, and that's for our speakers as well. Coming to 2 recommendations that I have for the entire meeting. One is something that can be taken care of by XCOM in the background, is that we launch polls on time. So that can be taken care of. And secondly, we got a bit late, and that should not have been happened. But no worries. I think everyone is trying to make sure that we don't get as late. And for that reason, I am going to hand over back to our Toastmaster today. But a wonderful meeting, and I would like to congratulate our VP Education team for organizing everything and making all this happen. Over to you, Toastmaster Priyanka.
Thank you very much for the crisp and amazing general evaluation. So I would like to conclude my theme with a quick question. Raise your hand if you want to be happy. Okay, I think most of us really want to be happy in life. And one of the key elements to stay happy is health. So please take care of health. Go for regular health checkups. See what you are suffering from and take care of yourself. The way you apply feedback from the evaluation in your speeches, apply those feedbacks of your health doctors on your health. Take medication on time, take care, and stay healthy. With that, I'd like to conclude my session and hand over to the presiding officer of the day, Toastmaster Anand. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. Let's have a thorough round of applause for the terrific team which has brought to you this cracking of a session. Let's poll on one final best role player poll as well. Toastmaster of the evening and general evaluator, since we did not have a table topic master per se. I have done my voting. You do yours as well. Madhav, request you to send me these poll results in private window, and I will announce them in due time. But taking a quick feedback from our audience, especially the guests, especially those who are coming for the first time, maybe from other clubs, maybe first timers. Sushmita, Bhushal, Ayusha Pradhan, if either of you are available with us, can you unmute, tell your experiences? How was the meeting today? Pragyan Joshi, I come to you. How was the meeting? Did you have a good takeaway?
Yes, no, thank you. So I'm currently in Baisipati Toastmasters Club, which is a club in Nepal. So you're all most welcome if you come to Nepal to our club. I actually came, I had shared I think there was a Toastmaster DTM Rupinder's session that was put on post by our Toastmaster Utkarsh. So I had sent it to our fellow Toastmasters. So Subi was from our club as well, but so she was having trouble getting in. So I wasn't planning to attend this meeting. So I just tested it for her and I ended up in the meeting room. So I ended up staying, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself and I'm glad I stayed. I love the speeches. I love the energy, the vibe. And I also learned a lot from the Oreo method. So thank you for that.
All the best for your table topic journey as well. And lucky accidents do happen. Thank you so much for that. And I believe Subi had a terrific time as well. Kalpana, are you there with us? Okay. Madhav, hey, hi, you are sitting with video on. So did not get a chance to speak, but now is your moment to speak.
Yeah, so I was expecting some table topics today, but in return, I got such a wonderful session. So thank you, Rupinder, for hosting this session. And of course, you guys make this Toastmasters meeting so vivifying that I don't have any words. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Madhav. Do keep joining our meetings. And as Master we also said, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So today, I believe the teacher came. He was ready. He made us all ready as well. Thank you, Rupinder, for creating some memories for guests and fellow members from different clubs alike. Diana, please, I will read out what you have written as well. Of course, in addition to what you have written previously, you felt like the meeting with table topics, public speaking, it helped you improve. And that is whole spirit, right? So we do get improvements that way. Quickly checking again with Susmita, Hayusha, Kalpana, Vaibhav Podar, you are also here. Were you able to catch up the table topics session today?
Yes,
You have
I
written as
did.
guest.
Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have written as guest.
No worries.
I've been in a Toastmaster meeting since 5:30. But yeah, I just finished my club's meeting, and I like wanted to join this and did want to hear more about how to take on a table topic session. The Oreo method, amazing, loved it, and something that I am really. I'm really encouraged right now, and I'm looking forward to the next Toastmaster meeting I can attend and really apply myself with the Oreo method and see how that goes. Thank you so much for having me in the meeting.
Thank you so much, Vaibhav, and appreciate your commitment to the cause as well. And this is an open invitation to everyone. Do join us every Thursday for table topic practice dedicatedly, because our focus is to have as much practice as possible in the subsequent meetings till we have our club level table topic contest especially. So do join all the members of Spearhead Toastmasters. We have Jaspreet, we have Rishi, we have a few others. Do join us for the practice, and in turn we will join the Sunday practice as well in Spearhead Toastmasters. And let's have as much practice as possible so that we are equally capable and do give all the contestants, fellow club members, a run for their money. Animesh, any final closing feedback in one line or two from your side?
Honestly, nothing. I have nothing. Everybody's just said what I had on my mind. So yeah, this has been pretty good. Turning Point Toastmasters. Well, if you're looking for your lost glory, I hope you get it. Thank you very much.
We would love to have that glory fetched or conquered with you in our team per se. So do try to lose the tag of X and call yourself as, let that X be for Elon Musk. Let him be happy with that X tag. Let us have the current tag with you as a member of Toastmasters International and especially Turning Point Toastmasters. Well, I have the results ready, and the results are, yeah, we are feeling generous. So we will still, the disqualified people will still announce that, yes, we have a best prepared speaker, best auxiliary role player, and best role player overall. Best auxiliary role player for his impeccable grammarian report, Utkarsh Sharma. Best role player, there was no doubt at all. It was the girl who made us aware about the importance of regular health checkups, Priyanka Mishra. And finally, the best speaker today, our own in-house Arundhati Roy, Srishti Mehrotra. And yeah, that's all, because evaluations, we are all disqualified and other evaluator did not. So imagine my plight when even the other evaluator did not show up. Even then I am disqualified. Story of my life. All right, don't do that in your table topics. Otherwise, Rupinder's ghost will enter your sleep and trouble you over there. That's all. I think we are 2 minutes into the closing time. Any final comments, and request Madhav to turn off the